Hi, welcome back to Ask a Monk. Today's question comes from BD951, who says, "Can you explain what an insight is in regards to meditation? Is it a thought that arises that causes you to let go, or does it occur at a deeper level? Also, when a person reaches Sotapanna state of mind, is that a distinct event in time?" So two questions. Okay, first question. Now, what is an insight? Well, there are two levels of insight. The first one being the thought level, where one has a sort of an epiphany, a realization um, on an intellectual level. And the second type is a meditative experience of reality for what it is, a realization of the way things are based on meditation practice. It's the second type that is really, um, in answer to your question, in regards to the meditation practice, it's an experience. It's not an intellectual thought. There is no need for thought because one sees things as they are. I can go briefly through the insights. There are 16 insights that one realizes in the practice of the meditation. If one does an intensive course, it can be expected that you get through several of these, and if the course is long enough and comprehensive enough, you can possibly go through all 16. The first one is called Namarupa Parishyatayana, which is the insight into the separation between body and mind, that all beings are separated into two parts, one being the physical and the other being the mental, that there's no self, no soul, but only these two realities of the physical and mental phenomena that arise. Number two is seeing the nature of these two things, how they work together, that they work in terms of cause and effect, Paccaya Parikahayana, the knowledge of cause and effect. Number three is called Samasanayana. It's seeing things as they are, knowledge of comprehension, I believe it's translated as. Starting to see impermanent suffering and non-self, the three characteristics inherent in everything. Why nothing in the world is worth clinging to. Starting to see that the things that we thought were permanent are impermanent. The things that we thought were satisfying can't satisfy us because they're impermanent. And that they're not self, they're not under our control, and we can't force reality to be this way or that, as we might wish. Number four is Uttayabhayayana, knowledge of arising and ceasing, and this is starting to really be able to break reality down into the arising and ceasing. So rather than seeing things as good and bad and so on, we simply see them as arising and ceasing, coming and going. Number five is knowledge of cessation, so starting to see that everything ceases, as opposed to watching things arise and cease, starting to really see that there's nothing in the world that's permanent, and starting to accept the fact that everything has to cease. Number six is knowledge of the danger or fearsomeness, bhayayana, which starts to realize that there's a problem here, that if everything ceases, then really we can't cling. Number seven is knowledge of the disadvantages of clinging, starting to see the suffering that's caused by it. Number eight is knowledge of disenchantment or dispassion, where nibbidayana, where one becomes disenchanted with the reality, starting to realize that it's only the same old things over and over again. There's nothing in the world which is really unique, exceptional, special in any way. In the end, it's all just seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, and thinking. And this is starting to turn away and realize that happiness doesn't lie in the experiences that we have. Number nine is Munchittokamayatayana, knowledge of desire for release or freedom, wanting to be free, wanting to get away, and starting to actually turn away in another direction and seek happiness, seek peace inside, no longer looking into external objects for peace and happiness. Number 10 is this following this idea and actually looking inward. It's Patisankayana, means going over everything that you've been watching in the meditation again, and this time giving it a a closer look, trying to see where exactly you're clinging to, rather than where you can find happiness. Number 11 is Sankarupeka Yana, knowledge of equanimity. Once you change the way you look at things, instead of trying to find happiness in the reality, starting to see where you're clinging, you're able to work out the clinging, work out your attachments, work out your the kinks in the mind, and then your mind starts to calm down and feel equanimous in regards to all things. It sees everything equally, and is very finely tuned. And this is the height of insight in a worldly sense. After Sankarupeka Yana, there arises several knowledges in succession. Next one is Anuloma Yana, where the mind gets to the finest point. It's like the consummation of insight, where it's so finely tuned that you're able to see things exactly as they are. This is really the insight that we're going for. Anuloma Yana means to come to the middle, or to finally get it, and go with the grain as opposed to going against the grain. That we're finally going with the stream of reality, and in tune with the way things are. And that's just a very brief moment in time. The next one is Gotrabhuyana, where one changes one's lineage, they say. It means changes one's state of mind from being an ordinary human being to being one who realizes the truth. The next moment is called Magayana, where one attains the path, where one's mind actually goes inward, not following a path outward, but Magayana is the path inward, where the mind enters onto the path to enlightenment just for a moment. Then there's Palayana, which is the realization of the fruit of the path, where one realizes Nibbana or Nirvana for the first time. And then number 16 is called Paccavekkhana, where one reflects upon this, comes out with the realization of Nibbana, and starts to reflect on the results, seeing what has changed in the mind as a result of realizing Nibbana. So the second question, the realization of Sotapanna. Sotapanna is the moment of realizing Magayana, the 14th stage of insight. Once one attains that state, one is said to be the first type of holy person, this first type of enlightened being, which is the Sotapatti Magga Yana, the realization of the path of Sotapanna. Then the next moment, when one attains Palayana, one is the second type of holy person, which is one who has realized Sotapatti Phala, or fruition. From that point on, one is considered to be a Sotapanna, one who has entered the stream, because that realization has fundamentally changed the way the person looks at the world. There's no going back to an ordinary state of being, so one is considered to have entered the stream, so to speak, and will be born a maximum of 7 more lifetimes. So this is pretty technical and very Buddhist, and I don't always go into things on such a technical level in my videos. But okay, so thanks for the opportunity, and there it is. Those are the 16 stages of knowledge, Reader's Digest version.